All right, cool. So I'm lucky enough to have one of our members, Corey, on the on a quick call with us. Corey's had some really good success. Corey's in the Northeast, which that's where I am, by the way. But in the Northeast, it's tough to get leads. So, and Corey's in a market where it's harder to get leads, I would say. Corey's in a market in the kind of in the South Shore of Boston area, and he's having some really good success. So, Corey, first of all, thanks for taking 10 or 15 minutes out of your day because I know you're busy.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And so, will you just kind of start with maybe we don't use last names here, obviously, but just kind of who you are and maybe your journey a little bit in like 2 minutes of getting into real estate, and then talk about why you thought that our program was a good fit for you, and then maybe share some successes that you've had with the program.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So as Chris said, my name is Corey. I'm in a pretty competitive area for sure, as far as like you said, leads are concerned, and just business in general. Everybody is, but this area in particular, there's some pretty specific clientele. So I got into real estate business. I've been licensed for 3 full years. I'm just at the beginning stages of my 4th year. And when I got into the business, I was new, I was hungry, I want to do all these things, and I didn't have a huge sphere. I went to college really kind of far away. And so my main sphere, all my buddies are kind of in a different area, and I didn't have that sphere to just dial into. So it's not like my friends or my cousin was gonna do business with me. So I had to get business the hard way. A lot of cold calling. I call expireds, I call for sale by owners, stuff like that. And I really hammered the phones, right? And so when I first got into the business, I had come from a sales background, so I didn't have a problem doing that. And I realized I was making a ton of money for other people, and I didn't want to do that. So here we are in real estate, trying to make some myself. And so it's still a big part of my business, but I realized very quickly I needed some kind of passive lead stream. And so after doing a lot of research and looking into several different kind of programs, I got involved with the digital agent program.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So, tell me how much volume did you do last year? What are your goals this year?
Yeah. So last year my volume was I did 17 transactions. Yeah. I probably left 10 on the table, just inexperience and stuff like that. So I did about 17 transactions, and volume wise that was, I think, translated into 8 or 9 million or something like that. It was something in that range. My goals were much higher than that, and I really was a little bit disappointed, just because I felt like I should have done more. I had the capacity, the bandwidth to do it, and so this year my goals are much higher. My volume goal this year is just over 15 million.
Cool.
And that's something in the neighborhood of 36 transactions.
Yeah. So I'm friends with you on Facebook, so I see, you're listing property. So you're going to get there. That's for sure. So tell us, if you could share some insights as to, maybe, I don't know, I think you came in 30 days ago or so into our program. But how has it helped you, obviously, and kind of share, the maybe successes that you've had with the program, and any input that you could give anybody in regards to that.
Yeah, happy to do it. So when I came into the program, one of the things I liked about it was that you didn't have to be super tech savvy, because I'm not a technical guy, right? I'm a face-to-face handshake, hang out with somebody, networking. That's what I like. So the technological part of me is not great. And so that was really attractive. So I got involved in the program, and even with that, struggled, right? I struggled to get the thing set up. I think somebody told me if I stuck to it for 3 or 4 hours, I should be able to do it. And it was more 3 or 4 days. But I stuck with it.
Yeah.
I stuck with it, and I got it set up, and I got it up and running. And so for me, that was the first big success, right? Just actually getting it done.
Yeah. And you're not technical. I mean, I get it, so you've probably never, I get it. I get it. And, it's, I mean, we have support. Obviously, I think I was on the phone with you and
Several
helping
times.
you a couple times. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And look, like sometimes when you just see somebody else doing it, you're like, oh shoot, like I get it. A light bulb
Yeah.
comes on. So, and putting the first campaign up is always you're learning a new system, you're learning a new technology. If you're not technology savvy, you're just, it's like speaking Chinese sometimes until you actually, a light bulb goes on and you're like, oh, this isn't that hard. A lot of people psych themselves out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So true. And that was me. I was like, after doing it a little bit and I didn't get it done the way I wanted to, I'm like, I can't do this, but I pushed through. So that was fine. And so I've had the campaign up, I've taken it down, because just with my own business, listing business has really kind of taken off.
Yeah.
I had to take it down because I couldn't service everybody the way that I wanted to.
Yeah.
But right off the bat, I set up, I use a different system. I haven't been using Agent Legend. I used LionDesk.
Yeah. A lot of people
like an auto response feature as well. And so, right off the bat, I just got a ton of leads. They were coming in, like hand over fist. And it was just with the baseline stuff, the $10, the $10 a day. It really, I wasn't spending a ton of money on it. The leads were coming in super cheap. They were between, $1.13 at one point to like, maybe just over $2 or, 2.5, something like that. And, it was great. I got a lot of quality, leads out of it. Not all of them, obviously, like it's the internet.
Sure.
But one in particular was a big time listing in a pretty high value area around here. And I went out and I met with them. They're not quite ready, but they're a nurture for me.
Yeah.
So I have right now, I think 3 or 4 people, like buyers, who are under agreement with me as far as like buyer agency is concerned.
Yeah.
I'm out showing property at this point, and just with my average commission in this area, just an average price point, that's probably going to turn into something in the neighborhood of like 40 grand worth of, at the minimum, worth of commission for me.
Yeah.
And it's whatever the spend is to get into the program, a few $1,000, and then your ad spend and stuff like that. I've made my money back. I don't even know how many times over. I was actually, I was sharing with Chris before about a story about. So I turned the ad back on just a couple of days ago, and the first or second one that came in is a buyer who's they want to buy something, they're gonna sell something. It'll be like 1.2 in volume.
Yeah.
And the ad spend on it was like $1.13.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy. I mean, look. I don't tell everybody that they're gonna have leads are gonna come in at $1.25, $1.50 or whatever, because you just don't know, right? Like I don't know. We don't know every single town in the areas, et cetera. But if you do what you did and take action and get the campaigns up, you're going to have success. And with work ethic, like you have, follow up, et cetera, then the gold's in the follow up. I know Agent Legend and LionDesk, they auto follow up. The leads that were coming in, were they engaging via the auto follow up?
So some of them were, right? But the majority of them didn't. And so I have a showing assistant, just because I've been so busy. So I hired a showing assistant, and she's actually been going through the list and calling people. Awesome. And she actually set up 2 buyer appointments herself.
Okay.
With these 2 people. And now we've got a relationship with a lender. We've kind of worked out how to get things all kind of running the right way.
Yeah.
And she's just sent them over to get pre-approved, and the lender's calling me and saying, "Oh, hey, we just got a couple more." And for me, it takes the pressure off of my everyday lead gen, right?
Yeah.
Like you make a phone call to an expired or fifth sale by owner, even someone in your database, and they don't have a lead for you. They're not ready to do business, not ready to meet with you. Well, when you have all these leads coming in the back end, even as nurtures, right? So 6 months down the line, it takes the pressure off.
Sure.
Now I can just go to work knowing that I still have lead flow coming in, and I'm not paying $80 a lead, to some third party company to do it for me.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the nice thing about Facebook marketing is that, number one, the leads that come in, they're exclusive to you, right? I mean, that's there's no contract. You can turn it off like you did and then turn it back on. You can test things, you can try things out, and see. split test and if you got campaigns that you want to, like, oh, I want to try this out. Well, you have the foundation now. You can try other campaigns out. It's just there's so many different, there's 5,000 different reasons why people should be doing, marketing on Facebook in our industry, in our niche.
Yeah.
I think, frankly, people hear a lot of, stories and they're like, yeah, I just don't think that they think it's that easy. And look, it's not. Like, look what you just said. It took you a while to get the campaigns up and tweaked the way they needed to be tweaked. Number one. Number two, like, it takes follow-up and it takes man hours.
Yeah.
People on the phone. Like, the people, automation is the key. I think it's imperative. Mm-hmm. But, like, you take automation along with like human follow-up, and your conversion is going to go from 3 to 5% with automation to 5 to 10% over the long term, because like you have your showing assistant calling them, like, your lender might have an assistant that calls on them too. I know who your lender is. So, and it's not me, by the way, guys. He might have one of his, loan partners calling too.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So if you guys do that consistently, you're going to have more lead flow and more business than you know what to do with. But I'm just psyched that you're having success. It's good that you are, and it just proves that we're doing something right over here. So
yeah, and to be candid, like I know certainly, like, if this was the only thing I was doing, right, like I was doing the bare minimum budget per day, and I just turned it on and I just let the autoresponders do their thing. I don't know that I would be having that much success with it, right? Like I've always just had to, like, kind of grind and follow up and call and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's a huge component of it. Yeah. I think it's really easy to get discouraged if you just were to turn it on and say, well, no one's raising their hand with the autoresponder saying they want to talk to me. Yeah. People get busy. People are sketched out because it's Facebook, it's the internet. You got to kind of just make yourself available. You got to go to work, right? Yeah. And so, am I perfect? No, I don't think so. I probably left a few opportunities on the board, but the system works. I'm glad that I struggled through it.
Yeah, cool, man. How many leads do you think you've gotten? Do you know?
Oh gosh, total.
Yeah.
It's upwards of probably. I'd have to look. It's probably a couple of hundred.
Have you? That's awesome.
Yeah, because so I've played with different, like, budget amounts and stuff like that, and just to see what would happen. And I would say out of the couple of hundred, half of them are garbage, non-responsive. Leads or more.
That happens. Yeah,
right.
Sure.
But, like, the handful of people that respond that you get in touch with, makes it all worth it. It's fine.
Of course. And that's, the automation helps you kind of weed through that crap. And then, the people that engage or at least express interest, then you can follow up with, manually. So yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm glad you guys both, because I know your other kind of partner in crime there. Great guy. And I'm glad you guys are both doing well. And again, I certainly appreciate you taking the time to get on. I'll let you get back on the phone. More calls.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, bud. Keep after it. Thank you.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah. Bye.